the seconds immediately after the game gets underway. Just waiting now for Eddie Kinsella just to adjust his watch and get the match underway. So away we go. And straight away it's Kerry getting the opening possession. Up as far as Donegal Walsh. Stephen O'Brien now. One of those playing in the first All-Ireland football final. Must be a very nervous occasion for him and for the others. Leo McClune's back there helping. Now Frank McGlynn. Donegal to build from their own half-back line. Fumble that time. And the fumble was by Oran McNeilish. Again, indication of early nerves. Understandably so. David Moran. Measured build-up here. Stephen O'Brien started the last attack on the right wing. Here he is popping up on the left, ready to try and kick it in. It's going to drop a little short, but it's dangerously in there. And a goal! Kerry score right at the very outset, and it's Paul Gainey. Only about 50 seconds were gone when Paul Gainey, the Cork City-based teacher, put Kerry in front, and this is how it came about.
Yeah, Donegal will be very disappointed with that. A turnover in the middle of the field and a good quality counter-attack by Kerry. High ball in. We expected Donaghy to be there, but it wasn't. The smallest Donegal defender against John Gainey and skidded it along the ground. That's a wonderful start for Kerry.
Well, it is an absolutely wonderful boost, as you say. And now Cara Lacey and Neil McGee are going to have some thinking to do, but it's a goal that's come to Kerry right at the very beginning of the match and gives Donegal plenty of time to get themselves sorted out and get back into the contest immediately with Frank McGlynn. A lot of passes and McGlynn eventually playing it forward, but Kerry are back there in numbers. Donegal straight from the outset here, carrying the ball in transition, pass after pass, and now the counter-attack with Kerry and Killian Young. Again, they launch it in there. Big, huge one. Again, it was Paul Gainey reaching for it, couldn't quite get it this time. Ball has gone wide.
Yeah, what viewers would like to know is that Donaghy is playing out the field quite a bit in the first half. The guy we expected to be on the edge of the square was Donaghy, but it's Gainey who has been on the end of those first two attacks for Kerry. Clearly, a strategy that was set out by Emmett Morris. It has got the maximum return.
Yeah, great goal by Paul Gainey, his first ever in championship football and coming in the All-Ireland final. He was the UCC captain in this year's Sigerson Cup win up in Belfast against UUJ at the beginning of this year. Paul Durkin, bad kick out, straight to a Kerry man. And from Mar, as far as Aidan O'Mahony. Nice controlled approach. O'Donoghue. Back here once again to Aidan O'Mahony. Wears number 3, but very rarely plays back there. Paul Murphy giving it once again to Mar, who caught that kick out from Paul Durkin that set this up. Kerry now the ones taking an awful lot of passes. Again, it's Aidan O'Mahony. Finally, Johnny Buckley putting his boot through it. Comes down off the post. Kept alive. Donaghy. Straight over. Kerry's second score. Point by Kieran Donaghy. Alert play by the Kerry inside forward line. Buckley with a long punt there. Came off the post. And Kerry were vigilant.
Yes, much more alert, Kerry, no doubt about it. A simple pass out to Donaghy and just effortlessly put it over the bar. They've settled so well. Donegal, in contrast, look jittery. McFadden fell at the other one side of the field, going for a ball. They just need to settle very quickly.
Curious kick out, but it's worked out for Donegal this time. Kept alive by Anthony Thompson. Free kick awarded. Down here as far as Oran McNeilish. What a great season he's had so far. Eamon McGee in here as far as Leo McClune, the link man who joins the defensive part of Donegal's game to the much more attack-conscious players inside. And McClune again went in, taken down this time, and the referee has a little quiet word there with Donegal Walsh. This was the challenge by it was very high.
Very high. It was a clothesline tackle, and I thought maybe that merits a yellow card.
I didn't see him getting one. In fact, the referee hasn't spoken to him. He's having a word now out of shot, I can tell you, with another.
Yes, I think what happened there
actually,
Aidan O'Mahony actually body checked, I think, Michael Murphy when Murphy was going for a return, and I think that's what he's having a word with Aidan O'Mahony for.
Well, they've got to be careful about body checking in this new black card era. This referee, Eddie Kinsella, refereed the All-Ireland Club final here on St. Patrick's Day, and black carded, in other words, sent off Richie Feeney of Castlebar Mitchells in the game against Vincent's. Michael Murphy to hit this one. This is one Donegal need now, just to settle them down, reassure the huge Donegal following that's here from just inside the 45-metre line. On a perfect day for football, and he's not going to miss, and doesn't. So an important pointed free there by Michael Murphy.
Yeah, well, when you need somebody to actually do something, you turn to your best man, and Murphy, there's no doubt about it, just settled the team that time. Just going back actually to the goal here, ball came in. That's very, very well taken by Paul Guinea, right beyond Durkin into the corner. And
very uncertain defending by Donegal at the back so far. Here comes the youngster who's come in, Derek O'Connor, only 18 years of age. Hit in by Paul Murphy, in as far as Johnny Buckley. Michael Murphy chasing after him. Anthony Marr then lets it in long. Skips away, however, from James O'Donoghue. Picking him up is Neil McGee. Carol Lacey. Neil McGee will have his hands full against James O'Donoghue. That much you can be sure if the ball is consistently in from midfield for Kerry. Neil Gallagher now. Had a wonderful match against Dublin in the semi-final. Rory Kavanagh. Not programmed to start, but he did well here 3 weeks ago. Again, Donegal just use the hand passes, build it up slowly and steadily. Finally it goes in here as far as Colin McFadden with the left. Enterprisingly, they're a little unlucky that time. Came off the heel of Anthony Thompson. Almost the perfect pass. Marr slowly but surely out through Peter Crowley. Effectively away to Killian Young. Aidan O'Mahony. He's going to play, it seems, in and around midfield. Oh, almost intercepted that time by McNeilish. Held on to by Johnny Buckley. Back it comes again to Aidan O'Mahony. Swiftly across. High up into the clouds this time, but this one is misdirected by Paul Guinea. And that is a wide for Kerry. That is their second. But he started very well, Paul Guinea. That goal coming after about 50 seconds will certainly have settled him down.
An interesting thing about it, Jerry, it's a perfect day for football, but already on 3 of the Donegal attacks, they have fallen twice when they have been in good positions. They've lost their footing. So maybe, you know, maybe it's over anxiety. It can't be certainly the condition of the pitch. Well,
they're trying to get back up to the pitch, Martin, that they were at here 3 weeks ago against Dublin. That's not going to be easy.
It certainly will be a gradual process.
Again, Kerry up to punch it away from the Donegal men in midfield, and then there are people there to pick up the crumbs. Across to Guinea once again, took up a good position. Frank McGlynn goes out to try and take that ball from him. McGlynn does well, helped out by Paddy McGrath, who goes down, and in the end it goes crawling all over the sideline, and Kerry's ball kept going here. David Moran, poor ball, hit aimlessly straight at Anthony Thompson. He was looking for Kieran Donaghy. Eamon McGee out once again here with Neil Gallagher feeding it forward. Leo McClune holding off the challenge of Aidan O'Mahony. This is much better by Donegal. Michael Murphy got a late thump as he played that ball down. The Donegal fans certainly felt that Murphy was belatedly fouled. Referee didn't give it. He's now got his hand up for an advantage for Kerry, and it's Stephen O'Brien carrying it in. Still O'Brien. He's beaten 3 players and then tried to do far too much with it. Robbed of the ball by Paddy McGrath. Out to McClune. Neil McGee now. Across to Murphy, back up on his feet again. Rory Kavanagh. Again, Donegal being allowed to have a lot of the ball inside their own 65-metre line by Kerry. Finally, Anthony Thompson from Glenties. Buckley chases after him, can't get to him. Loose ball, however, that wasn't terribly well hit. Went off the Kerry defender, Mark O'Shea. It's going to be a line ball for Donegal. 1-1 to a point. Donegal gradually just beginning to find a bit of momentum and rhythm.
Yeah, they're starting to settle into it quite well. They're starting to get their passing game in order. They're finding their men a little bit easier than they were in the first 2 or 3 minutes. But that shock to the system takes a few minutes to get over that.
Michael Murphy slipping a lovely ball down here as far as Derek O'Connor. Tries to sell the dummy. Back to McNeilish again. Into it quickly came Leo McClune. 2 men went to him. He holds on to it and holds on. Finally gets it back here to Ryan McHugh. Seen nothing of him so far. First involvement. Big, huge one in. opportunities presenting. It's Gallagher who was in there, and he couldn't hold on to it. I think he felt that the defender got it last. Looks a little disappointed with that, but it's got to be a kick out for Kerry.
No, I think it was the correct call. It went in last week. Donegal Walsh, I think, was in place, but it certainly came off Neil Gallagher's fingers last.
Just shows you the amount of hard work that Donegal Walsh does. Back up there, picking up Neil Gallagher. Alert to the possibilities that Gallagher will interchange with Murphy between full forward and midfield time and again. Free kick to Kerry. Free kick to Donegal, in fact, it's going to be.
Yeah, what happened there actually is that I think Brian Sheehan screened, or Anthony Maher rather, screened Rory Cavaney as he was coming in to jump, and Eddie Kinsley saw that as body checking, and the free goes to Donegal.
Jim McGuinness, it's his 24th championship match in charge, and this is what happened here just immediately before that. He's won 20 of the 23 matches in the championship so far. He's given Donegal fans a wonderful 4 years of championship football. Michael Murphy has been his captain all the way through that, and in fact under Jim McGuinness he's played in 22 championship games and won 19. It's some record. Well, it's a little more than that. It's about 46 or so metres out. Now we'll probably try and aim at the right-hand post here and draw it in. He's already pointed one, he's looking for another. It's well within his range. Mere kicking practice for a wonderful footballer. Second score by Donegal. Michael Murphy, their only scorer, of the two scores coming from free kicks with nearly 12 minutes gone.
Yeah, he's very assured with his place kicking there. Two great scores from distance, and again Donegal are needing those scores at the moment because from play Kerry defence seems to be on top.
Interesting at the moment, Michael Murphy is out in midfield still. Here he is jumping for this one, punching it just like Kerry midfielders were doing earlier on. Back in there to the heart of that Kerry defence to Killian Young. Now David Moran. 47 possessions in the last game, that replay against Mayo, amazing stuff. Johnny Buckley across the outside of the boot, in as far as Donaghy, catches it beautifully, thought about laying it off, goes down. Thompson curses his luck. Free in. Great catch by Donaghy to set it up. I'd like to see the shoulder again, mind you, just to see how legitimate or otherwise this was. Maybe the referee blew at that stage, didn't think so. Oh yeah, that's the foul.
That's the foul, yeah, soft enough, and it must be said Donegal had loads of players around that time to actually pressurise him. Anthony Thompson's annoyed about it, but there was two wonderful kick passes there in that sequence of play, and it's something that we've been looking from a Kerry point of view.
Paul Gainey got the goal in the opening minute, now a chance to tag on a point here from 13 metres out. Goal and a point for him. 23-year-old from Donegal, delighting his manager Eamon Fitzmaurice there alongside Cian O'Neill. So the Kingdom will be happy, leading by that goal after 13 minutes. Plenty of movement just in front of Paul Durkin as he prepares to take this kick out now, I can tell you. The arena, half of it basking in sunshine. Beautiful afternoon for football again. Donegal up to go short. Neil McGee to his brother Eamon. Well, they're going to carry it down, it would appear. Not opting to kick. Carry, there's a big gap in the middle, and then he just lost his concentration. He was thinking of where the final move might end. And in the counter-attack, James O'Donoghue rifles it up. Keeper comes out, misses! It's gone wide. That was terribly dangerous from a Donegal point of view. James O'Donoghue fired it in. Paul Gainey was in challenging Paul Durkin, who was caught in no man's land.
Oh, that's the second or third time that Donegal have turned the ball over unnecessarily. Paul Durkin came out to put pressure on the high ball coming in, but by God, he was very lucky that didn't bounce into an empty net.
Kerry have looked the better side in the opening 14 minutes of this match. Deservedly lead.
Yeah, their tackling intensity is better than Donegal's at the moment. They have settled much better than Donegal, and Donegal just need to get a bit of a grip around the middle of the field. This
time the keeper almost deceives some of the Kerry players as he was looking one way, finally found Neil Gallagher, and now Donegal once again can build. It's Frank McGlynn, pacey player who comes from left half back. Rory Kavanagh, very energetic man. Back to McGlynn again, looking for an opening. They found one in midfield. Leo McClune needs to be productive here. Two men go on him straight away. Needs to get it rid of it. I would imagine in the end he gets a free kick and does really well to get something out of that. I thought he had lost his opportunity. Didn't appear to be going anywhere quickly.
Very clever that time. He went at Stephen O'Brien, probably not noticed for his tackling, and earned himself a free. But we talk about the Donegal defensive blanket. Kerry have won in place today. That has been very effective up to now.
I guess, Martin, they were always likely to emulate some of the tactics of Donegal. They will have seen what happened in the semi-final, where Dublin had, frankly, a hole right through the centre of their defence.
There's no doubt about that, Gerard. They're determined to keep a shape to the defence today, irrespective of how the game is going, and it has certainly worked a treat for them up to now. Should
be 3 from 3 for Michael Murphy, the 25-year-old from Glen Swilly. First 2 kicks were quite long, distance from the target. This one just outside the D, and again, same result. He's certainly in form with his frees. So now just 2 points between the teams.
Yeah, but what is disappointing in a way is that they haven't had a real opportunity of going for a score from play. But, you know, there's another turnover that resulted in the ball going down to the other side of the field, and again it nearly ended up in the net. Donegal very lucky in that occasion.
Kerry come again here. Once again it's Anthony Marr. Aidan O'Mahony. How many possessions has he got so far in the opening 16 minutes? Goalkeeper collects. Begins the counter-offensive through Carol Lacey. Quick look up by McNeilish. Hasn't managed to get forward so far. His lovely style of play, Oran McNeilish from Guidor. Neil Gallagher. And a few runs in and around the inside forward line. Now back into midfield, where he's always much more productive, I think. Gallagher again. Picking out Paddy McGrath. Now he's got an opportunity here. He's got support players to his right. Using Lacey. Again, there's a whole line of Kerry defenders back. And they struggle, Donegal, to play joined-up football here. Paddy McGrath appealing that it should be a Donegal ball, and I think it may well end up being so.
Yes, I think they've got that sideline kick all right, but they're not one sweeper, but 2 sweepers at the moment being deployed by Kerry, and as a consequence, Donegal are getting very little quality ball into the inside line. McFadden has been crowded out. Ryan McHugh has hardly touched the ball. A lot of the Donegal players haven't got to the pitch of the game at all yet.
Do you remember Michael Murphy against Derry in Celtic Park? Line ball. I know it was on the opposite flank, but this would suit him even more because he's a right-footed kicker. He's got 3 so far. His team 1 behind, early stages. But it's just got to land in and around the square, or near it anyway. Plenty of Kerry players are back there. That was a jersey pull, as Paul Murphy was trying to get it out. In the end, Fionn Fitzgerald, Mark O'Shea down. Once again, O'Mahony. Stephen O'Brien. Good recovery there by Anthony Thompson to get goal side of him. Fionn Fitzgerald, the Kerry captain. James O'Donoghue. Spreading it beautifully across to Peter Crowley. So far a measured attack by Kerry. Let's see what they can finish up with, however. Donegal Walsh. Donegal retreat. 13 players now back inside the 45-metre line. David Moran, a little deception there, feigning to kick, then eventually getting in, but a little block on it. Still got a lot on it, however. It's going to be a 45, went off Frank McGlynn. Good work by David Moran, who's had to come back from 2 really crippling cruciate knee injuries in recent years. Great credit due to him for battling hard, showing the resolve and the necessary determination to make it back to the biggest stage of all.
Yeah, I think that came off Frank McGlynn's head as it came in, but I'm just fascinated by the structure of the Kerry team. How no matter how often they're attacking, they are keeping 5 men in their own defensive area. And I notice Murphy and Aidan O'Mahony are having words, and there's 2 or 3 guys around Murphy at the moment, 2 or 3 Kerry guys niggling him.
There's a certain softening up process going on where Michael Murphy's concerned. As you say, a bit of niggling going on off the ball. This is David Moran. Goal and 6 points so far in his career for Kerry. 3 points this year. Going to drop short. Well fielded there by Neely Gallagher. Getting it out as far as Carol Lacey. Challenged by Stephen O'Brien. Out as far as Anthony Thompson. Gallagher once again picking it up. 65 metres out from his own goal. His team 2 points behind. Donegal are looking for their first score from play. Ryan McHugh, 20 minutes gone. So far, Kerry have stymied them, and they've won this ball back to David Moran. Moran looks up, sees James O'Donoghue. O'Donoghue being marked by Neil McGee. Gets by McGee. Dangerous ball in towards Donaghy. 2 against him. He holds on, tries to release it. Knew he was going to be caught for overholding. Trying to locate Paul Gainey. Didn't succeed in doing so. Leo McClune, to his credit, got back, won it. An important ball to win.
Mike Donny was half-loaded that time by the Donegal defence. They did very well just to stay on the right side of being disciplined. That could have easily been given as a penalty.
Paddy McGrath then fouled by Stephen O'Brien as the referee sees it, and it's going to be a free kick for Donegal. 1, 2 to 3 points, 2 points the margin still. But Donaghy just indicating there to us how good he is in the air, as if we needed that point reinforced. Always going to be a danger. Now McNeilish, left-footed kicker, so we'll try and bring it inside, but is so far from goal at this stage, just happy to try and keep it away from Kerry hands. Off Gallagher, looking for a little bit more time. Johnny Buckley came in, and the referee gives the free kick to Donegal, and I think the Kerry fans will feel Buckley wasn't doing a great deal there, just trying to get the hand in and dispossess. Michael Murphy there, just wondering whether or not he's moving as smoothly as he would wish.
Yeah,
sure if he's got a little knock.
Yeah, he got a knock very early in the game, Gervin. 3 or 4 of them collided for a high ball in the middle of the field, and I think he's been trying to run it off since, but he's been given very close attention, it must be said, by Aidan O'Mahony.
Master technician, both managers indeed, Jim McGuinness and Eamon Fitzmaurice. Fitzmaurice was here with his college back in the spring, and they came from behind to win the All-Ireland Colleges title. We think there was a yellow card there issued to Stephen O'Brien, first of the match. Michael Murphy taking it, playing the ball in here as far as Ryan McHugh, and he is bundled over by his marker, Paul Murphy. As anticipated, Murphy is going to have the task today of following McHugh everywhere and anywhere. Remember, this is the guy who got 2 goals and 2 points against Dublin in the semi-final. That time he knocked him over, and the referee gives the free kick just 13 metres out, and this should leave just 1 point between the teams.
Yeah, Murphy's been present in every game this summer with Kerry. He's been a wonderful defender. Maybe he played a little bit too far from behind that time with McHugh, but it was a soft enough free.
Colm McFadden, although as today's match programme correctly calls him Colm Anthony McFadden, his first point from the free kick. All of Donegal's scores have come from frees. They won't care. They're within a point of Kerry.
Kerry will be somewhat disappointed about that, Ger. After getting the wonder start with a goal in the first minute, they haven't really built into it, even though they've had a couple of very good opportunities to actually maybe even get another goal.
And the message to them really must be also not to concede free kicks. That was brilliant fielding by Anthony Marr. Up as far as Donica Walsh, into Buckley, hard worker. Peter Crowley from Loud Rangers. Sells a dummy there to Paddy McGrath. Back out as far as James O'Donoghue. Looking for his first shot on the target, really, to some extent, although he did play that big ball in, which hopped it over Paul Durkin. But I think that was more of a pass. O'Donoghue again here, threading it around. Buckley, high up into the air, it's going to drop short. Gainey is in there, surrounded by 5 or 6 Donegal backs, helped out by midfielder Neely Gallagher. Runs into trouble on his own 45-metre line. McNeilish, first championship season. Leo McClune, controlled here by Ryan McHugh. And Ryan McHugh's had to go very, very deep, lose his marker for a moment just to get a possession. McNeilish, fascinating contest, as we anticipated it would be. Rory Kavanagh. Donegal's turn to attack now. And Kerry, like Donegal, have been doing, retreating back inside their own 65 and 45-metre line and saying, come on, you see what you can do. We'll allow you go just a little bit close to our goal, but maybe not the whole way. Rory Kavanagh trying to break through, succeeding. O'Connor, so very, very near. Derek O'Connor trying to repeat what his dad did back in 1980.
It's a wonderful run by Cavan at that time, and O'Connor, in all fairness to the lad, is from a very difficult angle, got it to the goalkeeper's legs. The goalkeeper actually got a touch to it. That should have been a 45.
How did he manage to get through? How did Rory Kavanagh manage to get through without being properly tackled?
Just pure perseverance.
Some 12 minutes now since Kerry have scored. And that's a poor kick out. Not what Brian Kelly was looking for there. All the way down, Phil Fitzgerald under a little pressure there from O'Connor. An early indication that O'Connor is not certainly suffering from any kind of nerves. He's a lively young 18-year-old, no fear whatsoever, anxious to make a name for himself. Marr gets it as far as Donegal Walsh. In here as far as James O'Donoghue. Marr, O'Donoghue again. Now Johnny Buckley. Passes are crisp, quickly delivered. Aidan O'Mahony. Back it comes to Paul Gainey. 45 metres out, decides to have a go. Well taken in by Paul Durkin. Well, he's had 3 clean sheets in this year's championship, beaten in the opening minute of this game. That was a good save by Paul Durkin. Now back out as far as Carol Lacey. Oops, went astray, lucky to get it back. Ryan McHugh keeping it alive for Donegal. Rory Kavanagh going past Paul Murphy. This time it's Peter Crowley. Donegal now trying to seek out openings in the middle of that Kerry defence. Peter Crowley wins it back. Helped out by Killian Young. Into the path of Stephen O'Brien. Loads of space in which to manoeuvre now. He can carry it forward again. Looks up. Needs to measure this one. Succeeds in getting it in as far as James O'Donoghue. Crisply delivered in here. Dangerously. Another chance. And this time it's gone. Has it gone over? It's gone over the bar. Yes, he's got it. Well, he's managed to get a point out of a goal chance. Right. That's a real let-off for Donegal.
Wonderful piece of fielding. It's the second time Gainey has fielded over Paddy McGrath. Beautiful dummy at the goal at his mercy. He will be disappointed. Just clears the bar, but that ought to have been in the back of the net. Some wonderful approach play by Kerry.
Clear indication, Martin, that Donegal know they're in trouble. They're taking, they're putting on Christy Toy, and the player coming off is going to be Darragh O'Connor, who just had that goal chance.
No surprise, Chris DeCoy, in one respect, like it's not the type of game that is suiting O'Connor. They're not getting enough ball to him. Now, admittedly, he had that one opportunity that he was somewhat lucky not to have converted, but I just think Toy's influence is needed very, very quickly.
Gosh, he could have been a hero 5 minutes ago. He's off the field now. Carol Lacey. Well, Christy Toy, you're quite right, is needed. He really settled down, Donegal, I think, when he came on against Dublin after about 25 minutes in the semi. Now here's Christy Toy. Had an awful 2013. Missed an awful lot of football. Pursued by Johnny Buckley. Into it comes Colin McFadden. McNeilish. Lovely deception. Still goes after it. Boots it. Oh, that's over. Beautifully done. It's taken nearly 28 minutes and 20 seconds for Donegal to get their first point from open play, and it comes to Oran McNeilish.
That's a wonderful piece of improvisation by the young door lad. Sold a dummy, lost possession, had the presence of mind just to clip it over the bar. That'll certainly to the boys' confidence no end of good. Wonderful score from McNeilish.
So 1 point between them from the Kerry kick-out. They retain it there with Aidan O'Mahony. Helped on by Paul Murphy. Donegal Walsh coming across. Again looking for a midfielder. Anthony Marr makes himself available. McNeilish strips the ball from him. Down went Leo McClune. Didn't get a free kick as the boot came in. Michael Murphy, and now it's going to be a free kick. Fouled by Stephen O'Brien. Taken quickly. And the referee, I think, has just noted that offence by Stephen O'Brien. Remember, he's got a yellow card. He's got to be very careful. The management will know it. Michael Murphy slipped inside to McClune, rounding Crowley. Oh, awkward kick in the end, and nothing pass given away to Kerry and to Johnny Buckley. Up as far as Paul Gainey, a goal and 2 points so far. Really should be 2 goals and a point. Back as far as James O'Donoghue, outside the D, and that one has gone to the right. It's a missed opportunity, always offline. hasn't scored so far. Kerry have 4 wides.
Very surprising now, when he's normally so composed when he gets the target in his sight. He that time snatched at the ball, shot a bad wide at a time when Kerry needed a score just to settle themselves down and extend their lead.
It'll be Paul Durkin from the Four Masters in Donegal town, ready to kick this one out in the vast arena that is Croke Park here this afternoon. Again, a poor kick out. And it's fumbled by David Moran. He knows he should have got that. Lapse in concentration. Yeah, but Paul Durkin, I mean, people have been saying about wonderful kickouts. He's not really excelled with the kickouts so far today.
No, Kerry have their homework done superbly on that. They're neutralising Donegal's impact that they often have from the kickouts. They're not getting the possession they normally get from them. But David Moran's little lapse in concentration that time give the advantage back to Donegal.
Anthony Thompson now to try and take full advantage of that. Rory Kavanagh flicking it back to Thompson. Very willing player. Back out here as far as Carol Lacey, Footballer of the Year a couple of years ago, and that's a bit more like it by Donegal, and the teams are level. Carol Lacey's first, level for the first time. Wonderful recovery after conceding a goal after about 50 seconds, and in the end it was Thompson here who fed it through to the Footballer of the Year 2012, and Carol Lacey duly belted it over. 1-3 to 6 points. Anthony Marr. Very open contest. Beautifully taken inside here once again by Paul Gainey. He's causing a lot of difficulties in there, alongside Kieran Donaghy. Quick distribution. Johnny Buckley. Swiftly back again as far as Gainey. It's only got a drop inside of the square, and the goalkeeper Paul Durkin does well.
That's the third or fourth ball from a Kerry attack that has come into the goalkeeper's hands. They'll be very disappointed at the quality of their finishing.
And it's normally so strong. Ryan McHugh, very willing runner. Mention of willing runners, here's Oran McNeilish. Back to McHugh again. Christy Troy. Held on to here by Rory Kavanagh, the 32-year-old from St. Eunan's in Letterkenny. Neil Gallagher. So now Donegal toying with Kerry, it would appear, just holding it up, controlling the tempo of this latest offence. McHugh, all the hand passes so far, nearly 150 so far, almost. Colin McFadden, Leo McClune trying to play it back into a congested area intended for McFadden. Bodies falling around there. The challenge for McNeilish on Peter Crowley, and Crowley remains neat and composed and gets it out of play here and gets it out of danger. Moran taking it back. Stephen O'Brien now. Away to his left to James O'Donoghue. Where he goes, Neil McGee follows. O'Brien darting inside with Eamon McGee winning it back. McNeilish looks up, sees the run of Christy Troy. He has the strength then to get by Anthony Marr. Again waiting for the reinforcements to come from deep positions. Carol Lacey. A game plan that Donegal have been using over the last 3 or 4 years. Big kick in the end down there, just to see if there was anything on for Colin McFadden. Good vigilant play by Mark O'Shea. They had an extra back there as well, Peter Crowley just in case. Donegal Walsh now. Teams level. Just under 2 minutes to go to half-time. It's got to be a line ball from Kerry. Donegal Walsh just about did enough to hold on to it in spite of the attentions of a couple of Donegal defenders. Gets it back to O'Donoghue. It was Donaghy tending to pass it back, eventually kicking it himself. Does it carry the distance? It has the distance, but not the direction. No need for Hawkeye. It's a fourth wide for Kerry.
Somewhat unlucky that time, Kieran Donaghy took a ball under a lot of pressure that time, just looked up, saw the target, didn't drift in far enough from his point of view. But the Kerry team has just become a little bit, their attack has become fallow in the last number of moments, and you know, Donoghue in particular hasn't made the impact that I expected him to make.
Not so far. Paul Durkin, huge one down. Christy Troy is the target, and Christy Troy does well this time under that kick out. Win the kick out straight down the centre. The big tall men like Troy or Gallagher. Donegal usually get something out of it. There's going to be 1 minute of additional time. This first half has simply flown by, helped in no small measure by that goal coming so quickly in the game. Rory Kavanagh. Leo McClune now taking it around David Moran. A lot of work to do here, holding off Moran, 45 metres out. Again trying to seize a gap in here, finding one. Lacey is just outside. That's not going to count. Teams remain level at 1-3 to 6 points.
Yes, and the thing is that the attack developed. Both Neil McGee and I think it was Anthony Maher were getting to know one another quite well underneath us here. But Donegal, considering the desperate start they got, where they were a goal and a point, nothing down after 4 minutes, have come back very well and are settling into their style of play.
Well, Jim McGuinness will have lots to say to his team to encourage them. Likewise, Eamon Fitzmaurice at half-time. Some things have worked, some things have not worked. And the referee is calling aside Neil Gallagher now and Anthony Marr. And it looks like it will be cards. Marr is 6'5", Gallagher 6'4". Giants of the game, quite literally. Paul McGonigal is the other man there, as the runner for Donegal. Often comes in to have a little word with a Donegal player just to encourage him or make a switch or a change. So 2 more cards issued. I make that 3 so far in the match. 2 for Kerry, 1 for Donegal. And we've used the 1 minute of stoppage time. Now it's a case of seeing just how much more the referee is going to add on. And that is it. It was an explosive start to this All-Ireland final with a goal by Paul Gainey inside the opening 60 seconds, and that set the tone. Kerry were strong in the opening 10 minutes. Donegal came back. They had 3 points from frees from Michael Murphy and another point from a free by Colin McFadden, and then Oran McNeilish eventually got their first score from play. It's a fascinating All-Ireland final. Level at the break. It's Kerry 1-3, Donegal 6 points, and when we come back, Colm, Joe and Kieran will be...
We have reached the halfway point in the 2014 All-Ireland football final, and it is all square. Kerry 1 goal and 3 points, Donegal 6 points. Those are the stats from that first half. By the way, watch out in a few minutes for our All-Ireland final day competition here on the programme, because you could be heading to New York. Colm Moore, Kieran Whelan, Joe Brolly here with me in studio. Joe, you've been saying to me that you reckon Kerry are playing this thing just exactly the way they should be playing it.
Well, there's no place any longer in the modern game for managers who love football and want teams to go out and play football and want players to go out and express themselves. What this final illustrates is something I've been saying for a long time. System is king. Kerry went out and played the way they did against Rio. This would be slow death. Eamon Fitzmaurice is not stupid. He's doing exactly the right thing here. It's a mirror image of Donegal's system. Now, the game is horrific. I mean, it's barely watchable. But it's a draw. There's nothing in it. Now, Donegal's running game has been stifled. Kerry have blocked up the central column. They're sniping the odd chance. Donegal are sniping the odd chance. Each tiny mistake is going to be crucial as the game advances. Has to be done. James O'Donoghue's scoreless. People would say to you, well, what a great footballer he is. Hasn't been able to show us anything because the systems don't let you. But this is winning football, and it's the future. I mean, Jim has created a monster. I've been saying it for years. It's all right if he's playing against a man-to-man team.
Yeah.
But when another team does it, it's Monaghan versus Donegal, Donegal v Armagh, Donegal v Kerry. Fitzmaurice is doing absolutely right, and the game is now very finely poised.
I do, Michael. We spoke about the Ford game that they had to clog up that central channel. That's where Donegal were going to go at them. They had to adapt, they had to change, and it does have an effect on the game. And it is dour, but I don't want to get into the negativities of it. But it is All-Ireland final day at the end of the day. But here you have Peter Crowley and Killian Young, and they're just sitting back. Sitting in that hole, blocking off the long ball into the forward line and making it very, very difficult. You know, here's a point. They're moving with the play. Donegal have the play out the field. They're just holding their position, biding their time, and Donegal are forced to play across the field, back and forth. They're getting frustrated. You know, it's nearly a replica, as Joe says, of the Donegal system. They've gone out, they've met fire with fire. My only concern for Kerry is that they have used a hell of a lot of energy up in trying to implement this game plan, and I worry that in that last 5 minutes Donegal were beginning maybe to pick holes. They looked a little bit more settled. They had settled into the game. You know, Christy Tighe's made a difference since he's come into it. So Kerry, you would think, have done everything right. They've used the ball by foot. They've got early, quick, direct ball into the full forward line. It's caused havoc. They've done everything right to stifle Donegal, but they've exhausted a lot of energy doing it, and it's a draw match.
Colin, Joe doesn't like it. Kieran is not too impressed. What are your thoughts?
Well, despite the dourness, I find it an intriguing battle. At the same time, I think the individual has been lost now to the team system, and I think it's regrettable that a lot of the good individual players are not able to shine in a game like this. And you see, for example, Michael Murphy hasn't been in it for Donegal, or Colin McFadden. James O'Donoghue, who Kerry were looking for, hasn't been in the game much either. David Morton hasn't been in the game much. So both teams have clamped down on the danger men, and the opposition sort of put them out of the game. But yet at the same time, I find it an exhilarating contest between teams who are disciplined to the point of setting out their stall and are stifling each other. What we'd like to see is now some individual really grabbing the game and doing something spectacular.
All right. Contrasting views of the match then here on the panel. We are headed for another break shortly here on the programme. But first, though, a reminder of the half-time score. Kerry 1 goal and 3 points. Donegal 6 points. And the attendance here today officially is 82,184. Kieran Whelan, we saw 1 goal in that first half. It went to Kerry and it came early.
It's a dream start, Michael, and I don't know whether it came off a shot for a point here from Stephen O'Brien. You would think he was going for a score. Paul Geaney was the danger man, less talked about man, that full forward line. You know, he done the simple thing, you catch it and you turn, and if you look here, you know, Donegal's system was in place. They had 3 men sweeping back, usually for the break, which you'd expect them to come back, but you know, he just turned. When you catch it cleanly, he turned directly and stuck it in the back of the net. I thought another interesting factor in that goal was that O'Donoghue had pulled Neil McGee out the field, and that's a tactic, I think, on behalf of Kerry. Get the best full-back in the country out of there, and I think Geaney has been the star of the first half. You know, with all the expectation and all the pressure maybe on Donny and O'Donoghue, he's been allowed glide into position.
Geaney did well. He got his arse in under McGrath and kept him off. You know, was able to catch the ball out in front.
It's the smart play, Colin, because, and you'd expect this of Fitzmaurice. Paddy McGrath's the small man in the full back line. All the attention's on O'Donoghue and Starr. Starr moves out. It was a mismatch immediately. So because Guinea's the natural full forward in the team before Starr came along. So he gets a goal. Then McGuinness has to take action, so he has to disrupt his team. He has to put McGlynn back on him, but McGlynn's still not able for him. So McGuinney gets a second high ball. I mean, this is what they're using Geaney for.
Should he have put McGrath on O'Donoghue and leave McGee on the edge of the square? Because Geaney's a big man as well.
Because obviously, Colin, as you were saying, that goal wasn't an accident. This was the Kerry plan. In actual fact, Kerry had a couple of other goal chances in that first half as well.
There was another brilliant chance, and this is McGee comes soloing out with the ball and loses it. And a lot of Donegal players had pushed forward. And then with this long ball in behind, that ball could have ended up anywhere. Paul Durkin, I think, took a bit of a chance coming out. When you're a goalie, you have to come out and get the ball in situations like that. Ball could have bounced in. One thing about the Kerry play, it's very obvious that Donaghy's not going to get any easy frees anyway. But in this particular case, Donoghue kicks a brilliant ball. That wasn't an accident now. It wasn't a shot for a point. And he could have slipped it to Donaghy and it would have been in the net there. But O'Donoghue is really working hard off the ball out the field without much return at the moment.
I mean,
Donegal had a goal chance as well, Kieran, and this was a real goal chance because any ball that goes skittering across the upright.
Yeah, Derek O'Connor.
In fact, they should even have had a 50 out of it.
They struggled to break down. They didn't look like they went 20 minutes without getting, or more without getting a score from play. And Kavanagh again just goes very direct, takes on Moran and just slips the ball through to O'Connor. You'd think, you know, it's a tight angle. Kelly does well. He closes down the angle, but it's narrowly wide. I think they argue should they got a 45. I don't know whether there was a slight touch there off Kelly's leg.
Here?
Yeah, just as it went through his leg, or there it could have been a 45. But again, it was a chance that they should have taken because Donegal haven't looked as dangerous in that full forward line as Kerry have, and they haven't utilised Michael Murphy in there either.
Teams are back, as you can see. Let's go back to the commentary box to Martin Carney and Ger Canning.
Thank you, Michael. One interesting statistic from that first half, the frees awarded by the referee Eddie Kinsella to the respective teams. He awarded Donegal 10 frees, he awarded Kerry 1. Now, he's not meant to balance the frees or whatever. That's Mikey Geaney has just come in, by the way.